You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Shaun Radcliffe, Radcliffe & Associates is with us. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
God, even the Stooges are sleeping this Sunday morning. Now, while I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, I think I already said that. Just put the number in your phone, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Yes, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Now, don't think I've lost all of my marbles. I've lost most of them, but don't think I've lost them all. We do record the program on Wednesday mornings. So if you're listening to us, it's Wednesday morning, and you're got a comment to make, go ahead and put it in the comment section right there. You feel free. Go to StreamYard.com/user and give the authorization so we at least know who you are. But most of you, I'm sure, are listening Sunday morning, and we are celebrating, having been 1 week after the Super Bowl, National Comfy Day. I don't know. Did you go do some Super Bowl parties?
No, we stayed local, just some friends. But yes, small party.
Small party.
Yeah.
I said this year, because it was the Rams, I didn't want to go to a big party because I want to be able to watch the game and hear it.
Yeah, what a great game.
Well, it was a great game. National Comfy Day. National Leadership Day. I don't know about this one. National Love Your Pet Day. Isn't that every day?
I agree.
Right? I mean, I unfortunately, our dearly departed Sydney is not with us anymore, but we're going to probably have to look for another one. National Love Your Pet Day. National Muffin Day. Having beaten anorexia, I like muffins. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there. Mimi's, that brand muffin at Mimi's.
Yeah, or that buttermilk spice.
Buttermilk, okay, that one's good too.
Yeah, they warm them up and you put the butter right in between.
That sounds, I could add another 100 pounds real easy that way. National Cherry Pie Day.
Everybody loves cherry pie.
Right, well, so most people are probably not going to remember this because they don't teach it too much anymore. Cherry pie was always right around for Washington's birthday, right? I mean, I know tomorrow's President's Day, but cherry pie we used to have. Do you remember? You're old enough, right? You got Lincoln's birthday off, and then we got Washington's birthday off.
Yep.
And now we just get President's Day. So
they group them together.
Now it seems to me that presidents, there's been some good ones, but maybe that's why I shouldn't go there. Cherry Pie Day today. Yesterday was Chocolate Mint Day. All right, we like that as well.
Would that be the same as like mint chocolate? Because that's one of my favorite ice creams.
I like that one. That's a good one. And I don't know about this. This will get me in trouble because we're not going to be broadcasting tomorrow. Sticky Bun Day. I hope they're talking about some sort of a muffin of some sort. I hope that's where they're going with that. But this is a family broadcast, so we will behave. Let's see what's going on in the news. It's been a turbulent week in the market, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But here's the issue. I wanted to share this with you, and we put this together, and you're going to have full access to this. And I know that I'm going to go through some of these numbers, and it's going to be interesting for you to see what these numbers look like, because Shaun and I are going to talk about this a little bit more in depth throughout the broadcast. But we put together something called Real Estate, Past, Present, and Future. And you can go and grab a copy of it again, especially if you're listening to us on Sunday morning. If you're watching us live, we'll have it ready by Sunday morning. Go to RSR Real Estate PPF. That would be Paul Frank. RSR Real Estate PPF. And it kind of talks on this, or it shows you, demonstrates to you about real estate. Now, we can't go backwards. As much as we might want to look backward, we can't do it. We can learn from the past, because if we learn from the past, well, when I was in college about 100 years ago, Chapman College, it's now a university, but it was before it was a college. What is that? I think it's the study of economics, and we study the past to better understand the future in hopes of being able to predict easy for me to say. We study the past to understand the present in hopes of predicting the future. Well, I've done all of that for you on this presentation, RSR Real Estate PPF. So we took a everything's hypothetical for educational purposes. I am not offering you a house. I am not offering you a loan. But I'm giving you great insight, because every one of the numbers, you can apply them. You may have to, depending on your neighborhood, you might have to double them. You might have to triple them. In some areas, you might cut them in half. Not many in California. But what if we found a $500,000 property and got great credit? So we put 5% down. This is January 2021. And you were able to get a 2.875% interest rate. That's a fair number for back then. Your payment, $2,797.40. That's all in. No HOA, but everything else is figured into that. $2,797.40. Now, if you didn't act back then and you jumped to today, we have to change a couple data points. Based on the stats, real estate went up by 18%. So that $500,000 house is now $590,000. Interest has gone up by 1%. That 2.875 is now 3.875. Everything else stays the same, right? So the tax, well, they're going to be proportionate. The taxes, the insurance, the mortgage insurance, all of that stuff's going to be proportionate. But are you ready for this? Your payment today for that $2,797 payment that was a year ago is now $3,593.
Wow.
That's about $800 increase.
Wow.
Now, let's look at the future. And we're going to change 2 data points in there. I think that they're fair. I'll ask Shaun Radcliffe, because he's the expert here on the real estate side. So 590,000, I'm going to say 10% appreciation for 2022.
Yeah, I think that's a conservative, fair number.
Fair number. So that $500,000 house last year became $590 right last month, $649,000. We're going to change the interest to next year's number as well, what we forecast. I think it might even be higher than this. But what if I said 4.25%? That's probably a conservative number.
I think that's very conservative.
Well, you ready for what that does to the payment? I don't know if you want to hear this. $4,076.27. $4,076.27. So we went from 2,800, call it a round number,
wow,
to close to 4,100.
So you're telling me in 2 years, basically, I'm paying $1,900 more a month for the same property.
Same property.
Right. And the interest rate went up almost
2.875 to 3.875 to 4.25.
Wow.
Now, it wouldn't be fair of me just to stop there, because I know there's a few people that are saying this is a real estate bubble. Prices are going to drop. I know that there's some people out there that are saying that. So let's examine that what if scenario. What if you're in that camp that prices are going to drop? How much do you think they're going to drop? How far down do you think they're going to go? I can't answer that, because I don't think they're going to drop. How far down do you think they're going to go? How far do you think interest rates are going to drop? Do you think they're going to go back to today's rates? Okay, so let's say real estate that goes back to just today's rate, 3.875. Could happen. I don't know. 3.875. In order to get you back to the same $2,797 payment, the real estate value would have to drop by 30%. Do you think that's going to happen?
No.
Not a chance.
No. The inventory is not there.
It's just basic economics, supply and demand.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's not going to happen. We know that. So the question becomes, and you can see this all laid out right there. All you have to do is go to RSR, Real Estate PPF, past, present, future. I'm a simple guy. RSR Real Estate PPF.com. And you'll be able to see the entire demonstration here of what I just went through. Real estate's not going to drop 30%. If you think about this, what would that mean? Real estate dropped 19.7% during the Great Recession in 2010.
That was a recession based on real estate,
right?
Caused by real estate,
and that was only two-thirds of what you'd have to do in order to get back to where you were.
Right. We would have to be in a horrible world for real estate to drop 30%.
Serious problems, because real estate doesn't usually drop during recessions. We've talked about that before. But if you want that information, so the bottom line is, don't wait. It's not going to benefit you. If you're thinking about buying a house, get into the market. But you might say, the question you might ask is, Ron, what's it going to take for me to get that 4-bedroom house with a white picket fence? And that's the question. And that's maybe we'll even see if Shaun Radcliffe can help us out. And we'll lay out a game plan for you to get that house. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, want top dollar for your house? Maybe now's the time to list it. Need access to information regarding the current mortgage in a divorce situation? I know it's divorce season, so we've got that information for you as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Operators are standing by. Well, this week it happened. It hasn't happened in a long time, but we did see for the first time the Mortgage Bankers Association came out with their report this week, and they said interest rates are over 4%. I know you see the billboard out there and you see those or hear the commercials talking about interest rates that are not believable. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Why are they offering those rates? It's pretty simple. Because they want you to call them. And then they're going to either call you back if they like you and if you fit their mold and tell you that that rate doesn't exist any longer, or they're just going to ignore you and you're going to wonder why they didn't call you back. So we're going to tell you right from the very beginning, those rates are not available any longer. The Mortgage Bankers Association, they do a survey and they came out with the latest numbers. Interest rates 4.05%, up about 107 basis points, 1.07, higher than they were this year last time. Just understand that the numbers are going up. You can't have inflation the way it is. You can't see that the 2-year Treasury is going up. Whenever you hear the 10-year Treasury, whenever you hear the 10-year Treasury, just to give you a rule of thumb. So if you hear anywhere on the news that the 10-year Treasury, which right this minute, as I record on Wednesday morning, is at 2.04, generally, interest rates on a 30-year fixed rate loan are going to be about 1.7 above that. You might have to pay for a little bit to get there, but that's generally where the numbers are going to be. So right now, Freddie Mac, and again, as you know, I record on Wednesdays. We broadcast the program on radio on Sunday morning. Thursday mornings, Freddie Mac comes out with their number. So I'm sure that they're going to come out somewhere in the range of 3.8 to 4.0, and you have to pay 7/10 to 8/10 to get that rate. So don't wait. If you missed us in the last segment, you see what waiting does for you. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. This morning we are fortunate. Shaun Radcliffe and Associates is in with us. Got a great reputation in the North Orange County area.
Correct. Yeah, we service Orange, Yorba Linda, Villa Park, Anaheim Hills, Brea, and Fullerton.
Now that's an interesting concept because so many people that I talk to, we go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are focused.
We like to be the local knowledge expert. I mean, when buyers come to us and are looking for what they consider a good deal, we have to educate them on where that deal is at. And like you just spoke about, a year ago, there was a better deal than there is today. But that doesn't mean that there's not opportunity in today's market. And, one of the things you talked about was the white picket fence or that forever home. And so when we meet with buyers, we always talk what does 5 years, 10 years look like? And everybody wants the forever home, but how do you get there? In today's market, you have to take steps, right?
And exactly. And something, you made a great point because as you probably know, I went to Chapman College. It's now called a university. But one of the things that happened when Jim Doty took over at Chapman is he put in place, he's an economist. I mean, that's his background. We harassed him because he did get his doctorate at the University of Chicago, didn't get a Nobel Economics Prize. So that's what we kid him about. But everybody knew what his 5 and 10-year plan was, and they updated that every single year.
Right.
So everybody was working toward the same goal. The whole company, the whole university or college was working to, okay, this is where we want to be in 5 years, this is where we want to be in 10 years. And they updated that. You just kind of hit the same thing, bringing it back down from the size of a organization like Chapman all the way down to my house.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if there was somebody that was looking up your interest on the day one that you met with them and said, hey, what does it look like for you and your family today? And what does 5 years look like? And 10 years look like? That's really, to me, a person that cares about your interests and also is going to help you get there. Because right now, the 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home on, a little bit of square footage and 2,200 square feet might not be in the price range for every first-time home buyer.
Right.
but it's definitely a second home or a third home. And so getting involved in the market and allowing the market to appreciate as it has historically every decade is important for everybody.
And that's the difference between, my best friend's dog's mom is a real estate professional, or maybe did one transaction because they were able to spend, the 3 months. Shaun, this is one of my pet peeves. I don't know about you. So in Orange County, we've got a median home price of $950,000.
Right.
And for me to get a license to go and do transactions there, it's going to take me about 90 days.
Yeah.
Now, to go and cut hair, it takes about 18 months. And I don't even have any hair.
Yeah, there's a huge problem with that equation. Yeah, I always say in California, there's just about as many licensed real estate people as there are as drivers. I think it's the second highest license, driver's license, then somebody that's a realtor.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you're talking about $1 million, give or take. I mean, whatever it is, even if it's a $250,000 house in San Bernardino, and I have nothing against $250,000 house in San Bernardino, that's your castle, right? I mean, there's one of the loan companies, their CEO just bought a $60 million house in Newport Coast. It's his castle,
right?
It doesn't matter. I mean, his property tax is that $70,000 a month?
He also bought one in Miami too.
Okay,
if we're talking about the same CEO, yeah.
It's amazing, but it doesn't matter. Your castle's probably more meaningful to you than his is to him.
Right.
So you want to have somebody that really understands what's going on in the marketplace to be guiding you. And I love the fact that you're talking about consultations, right? Chatting with people and knowing, where do they want to be? And it's not, and I'm just going to throw words out there because my team, what we do, we want to know, where do you want to be 5 years, 10 years? What does your family look like in 5 years and 10 years?
Right.
Do you have colleges on the horizon? Do you have weddings on the horizon?
Yeah. I think the other thing too is, especially with a lot more people working remotely, when we meet with people and there's certain lifestyle that they want, whether they enjoy outdoor sports or they need to be close by a certain area. And we find a lot of people are really wanting space right now. And so we're able to take them in.
You're in a good market for that.
Absolutely.
Your Belinda is great for if you want space.
Yeah. There's a great,
not like Irvine where you got
a little tight down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're able to really address each issue and find out where does the buyer find their need and their niche, and then just focus on that. And we find that we get so many repeat and referral clients from that. But we also, when that 5 years comes up, we're proactively educating them about where the market's at and what's the next step for the next property.
So let's think about this one. And Shaun, you and I didn't even talk about this, and it didn't even cross my mind until about 30 seconds ago. So in the last segment, I was talking about past, present, and future on real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned a $500,000 property is now worth $590. Next year is going to probably be worth by $650.
Right.
Now, do you think many people that bought a house January of 2021 have the ability to save $150,000 over 2 years?
No.
Why not?
No.
But through real estate, if somebody got started, they could have gotten started. They have $150,000 now. What can you buy? What can you help them purchase if they have $150,000 down payment?
No, they could be in that $1 million plus price point. You know who our clients are right now? Our 2020 buyers. They're taking that equity and moving up into the next home with the white picket fence. They took a chance with the market when Warren Buffett said it, right? Be fearful when people are greedy and be greedy when people are fearful.
Right.
And they jumped in COVID, and they have seen huge appreciation. And now those millennials, those buyers that took that chance, are buying those next $1 million properties.
And maybe that's part of the reason why there's such a shortage of properties on the market, right? Because there is that group of people that took a chance.
Yeah.
And some of them, I'm going to submit, are following the advice of Ron Siegel Radio, right? Where we've said, keep that first property, right? Go and take the cash out of that property and buy that next property, because that's $650,000 if we're correct. The year after that, I'm not going to say it's going to go up another 10% because that's almost not healthy.
Let's say 5%.
5%.
Right.
right? So you have a $650,000 property that just appreciated another $30,000.
Right. And if you have money in the bank, you're actually losing money based on inflation.
Right. So the whole concept here is, how do you get the white picket fence? You start, how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah,
Right? You
with a
start
bite.
one bite at a time. Get started. Get an initial consultation.
Right.
Right. That's the way you work. That's how you've been helping so many families.
And we start with people that are 6 months out. I mean, people that say, hey, my lease is up in September or October. Well, let's start now. Let's start looking at what things feel and look like. And sometimes there's things on credit, right, that you see and that you're able to help them out prior to them coming to a real estate consultation. So getting them the best interest rates, and then also understanding where the area that they're looking for. At the same time, with our database of 8,500 people, sometimes we have properties that we know will be coming to the market. So we have teed up, willing, able buyers, and and sometimes those are a fit for buyers and sellers.
That's the key thing. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there. I have no horse in the game, right? So if you've got somebody that has a database of 8,500 buyers or 8,500 families,
correct,
and they're in the industry, they've been monitoring these people all that time. Well, now you've got I'm sure you've got a process, I would assume, to talk to them on a regular basis.
Correct. Yeah, we do. Every 6 months, we send them out a market analysis, so they know what the home is doing. But we also, in that initial buyer consultation, sat down and found out, like, this is our forever home, or this is a starting point for us.
So that's the key right there, is the approach, the system, the process. I'm going to tell you that the process is the issue, and we're going to talk about process because Siegel Lending Team, we do kind of similar, and it goes hand in glove, right? Because I need to get, our team needs to understand all the same things that Shaun's talking about, and we're going to talk to you every 4 times a year is our process. But I'm going to chat more with you about that. Chat more with Shaun about. You're just getting to eavesdrop on Shaun and I having a little conversation, because I don't know his process. I've never gone through his process, and he's never gone through mine. So we're gonna let you eavesdrop on he and I just having this conversation. When we come back, we're gonna also chat, as I told you, and we may not even get to everything today. Want top dollar for your house? Now's the time to list it. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. We're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. If you're watching us recording live, go to StreamYard.com/user, and you can give them permission so we know who we're talking to. And I appreciate whoever it is here that said great questions. Well, I think it's great answers. So that's a different story. I'm just the one throwing things out there that Sometimes they're great questions because I thought about them, but generally, I didn't think about it. It's just something that came to mind while we're sitting here in the studio and just having a conversation. We don't script the broadcast. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. And I think we're going to have something new to start giving you. The digest tells you exactly what the county recorder knows about your property. The market tells you what the market knows about your property. And I think, I shouldn't even say this, but Josh, I'm going to probably throw it out there anyway. I think we're going to be able to start giving you credit report monitoring and some financial planning tools that we're going to give you for free as well. Want top dollar for your house? Now's the time to list it. When you're selling any item, you usually want to sell it for the greatest profit possible. I know some people that like to buy high and sell low, but they don't last very long. That happens when there's a strong demand and a limited supply for that item. In the real estate market, that time is right now. If you're thinking of selling your house this year, there are 2 reasons why now is the time to list. Number one, the demand. It's very, very strong right now. Inman News, they explained it, quote, spring, the hottest time of the year for home buyers and sellers, has started early, according to economists. All right now, we don't even know when. Is it spring now or is it winter now? Because last weekend it was summer.
Right.
The middle of the week, it was winter. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, snow in Pasadena. Who would have ever thought that one? Anyway, home shopping season appears to already be in full swing. And they aren't the only ones saying buyers are already out in full force. That claim is backed up with data released this past week by Showing Time. Showing Index tracks the average number of monthly buyer showings on active residential properties, which is a highly reliable leading indicator of current and future trends for buyer demand. The latest index reveals this December was the most active December in 5 years.
Wow.
5 years. As the data indicates, buyers are very active this winter. Last December saw even more showings than December 2020, which was already a stronger than usual winter. And remember, you want to sell something when there's a strong demand for that item. Housing supply. Well, Shaun and I are going to talk about that in a minute. Very, very low. Each month, Realtor.com releases data on the number of active residential real estate listings. That's the properties for sale. Their most recent report reveals the latest monthly number is the lowest we've seen in any January since 2017. Think about this. 2017, January, there was 1.22 million homes for sale. In this year, you won't believe this one, 409,000.
Wow, that's a big drop.
Yeah, that's a third. 1/3 of what normal is out there.
Yeah, and I mean, and I can, in Orange County, we have 1,200 homes for sale just here in Orange County, in all of Orange
For the whole
County.
county.
For the whole county, which
Right.
is historically low.
Crazy. Even though supply is at a historic low, home sales are at a 15-year high, according to the latest existing home sales report from the National Association of Realtors. Existing home sales totaled 6.12 million in 2021, the highest annual level since 2006. This means the market is hot and homeowners are in a great place to sell now while sales are strong. National Association of Realtors also reports available listings by calculating the current month's supply of inventory. They explain months supply refers to the number of months it would take for the current inventory of homes on the market to sell given the current sales pace. Easy for me to say. Currently, 1.8 months supply. That's a national number. Do you know offhand what the local is?
Local would be less than 30 days.
Less than 30 days.
Let's call it 21 days.
I mean, that's fat. So lots of demand, not a lot of inventory, which is a perfect recipe for an increase in sales price.
Yeah, I mean, the sellers have all the leverage.
Exactly. If you're looking to buy a house, thinking about buying a house, give us a call, 800-306-1990. We've got the lending team available to help you. Shaun's got the real estate team to help you find that side of it. But here's what I want to chat about with you a little bit, and I want to get I'm going to share the way our team works, and it sounds just initially very similar to what Shaun does. So basically, Shaun, we like to have that consultation like you're talking about. What's the short, long-term goals?
Absolutely.
Where the family is today, where they want to be. what do the credit look like? Are there any credit challenges, student loans that we need to be aware of? How long have you been out of that forbearance program, if you ever even went into the forbearance program from the last couple of years? And we have a process to chat 4 times a year. Every person in our database we call 4 times a year.
Okay.
So because we want to know where you are. Life happens.
Yeah. And I mean, to touch on that, we do all of the exact same things on the real estate side. The other thing is we want to know what lifestyle, like what is this home going to do for you? What's this area going to do for you? How is it going to improve your life? Is it going to be closer to work so you have more time with your family? Is it going to be closer to family? Is that the reason? Are you downsizing? Are you moving into a single level to, plan for the future? So a lot of that goes into that to make sure that we understand what the lifestyle improves by buying that property.
So in the first segment, I talked all about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, in our processes, you just articulated everything except numbers.
Right.
I articulated everything except numbers because you probably read the same reports that I've read, that when people are talking about a house, according to Harvard University, smart people, right, that the financial side of the real estate is usually comes in number 5 or number 6 as far as what's most important to people.
Right. There's a ton of emotion that comes into it. I mean, this is where life happens. This is where maybe the person says, this is going to be my forever home and I'm going to live my last breath here. This is going to be where a couple are going to get together and bring their first child home. This is going to be a stepping stone to that financial freedom. So it's super important. And the financial part, obviously, have to be able to afford it.
Sure.
But the emotional part has to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, if you don't understand that, there's a lot of problems. I mean, yes, if you listen to yesterday's broadcast, we talked a lot about the reverse mortgage and how somebody can actually stay in their house until they're ready to leave, or maybe not ready. But the bottom line is exactly what you're saying. Is, I mean, I remember, I'm old, but I remember literally crying when I left the hospital the very first time with my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had a house in Yorba Linda, right by the railroad tracks. I'm sure you know the area.
Yep.
And we had a 2-bedroom condo, and what have I done? Am I ready for this? Right. I mean,
yeah,
that's the emotions you're going through as a new family.
Right.
We've got 3 kids now and a grandson, and it's a whole different world. So we've got a whole different set of emotions, but it's important. It's still important.
Yeah. And I think that understanding that and helping bring that out to the consumer is important, because there's a reason that somebody's deciding to sell or buy. And it has to do with most likely a life change, right?
Sure.
A growth in the family, a separation of divorce, or a death in the family, or they just need more space.
Or nowadays, what we're seeing
less
a
space.
lot. Nowadays, you're probably seeing this because you work in Yorba Linda, where there's a lot of land.
Right.
Where are you seeing multi-generations coming into the same household?
That's huge. And people wanting to put like an ADU onto the property.
What's
so
an
that
ADU?
Additional dwelling unit, so
Okay.
that they can have mom and dad be on the same property, because unfortunately they're not building a ton of homes in North Orange County anymore. So a lot of the resale that people are improving their homes, and multi-generational is huge.
And I'm going to submit, in quite a few Asian communities, I'm not getting a personal in any way, because this is beneficial. In a lot of Asian communities, grandma and grandpa live with the next generation, and they're helping raise that next generation. So the kids are being raised with love instead of childcare.
It's huge. And it's actually a great testament to that culture and the respect that they pay to their elders.
Right.
And that's expected. And those children that are our clients buying a home saying, I need either a downstairs bedroom with a bathroom for my parents, or I need something that has no steps, that's detached. But that's a big portion of consumers now looking for that type of space.
Now, I'm going to submit to you, it's probably not on the questionnaire from the headset agent, right? From the headset agent or the headset lender, right? They're not asking those questions because they're looking for the transaction. They're not looking to be a part of your family. And I look at it, you'll hear me mention very rarely, unless it's a mistake, I don't have any clients. We have no clients. Right? We deal with families. We deal with people. We deal with lives. And we like it that way because, well, quite frankly, Shaun, I best get my guess is that with the level of success that you've got, you probably don't deal with too many people that you don't like. I don't.
Luckily, yeah. In the beginning of our career, my team and I, we,
You have to.
we had to, kiss some frogs to
Right.
say. But the other part that's interesting that you're saying is in today's market where there's lack of inventory, we know where the inventory sits because those are our past clients.
Sure.
So those buyers that are coming to us with those needs and wants, and those sellers that we know what their timeline is, those are where we're hooking those two parties up together and making that transaction off market sometimes. But the other important thing is that, like you said, is we have forever clients. I mean, those are just people that we love on
Sure.
and they love back. And 75% of our business is repeat and referral, or those clients that want to refer their friends and family because it's trust and they know that they're going to be taken care of. When somebody calls you to get a home loan evaluation, they know exactly the process because they went through it and they agree with it and they had a tremendous outcome. So
Right.
that's a huge part of what we do and where we've had great success.
And I'm going to submit that for the most part, that's the only way to have great success. But if you're out there doing that transaction and you're 1 year in the business 20 times,
right?
That's a big difference in being 20 years in the business because I just had this happen the other day. I'm sure you've had it happen as well. I spoke to a family and they said, I just found out yesterday that we're getting divorced and I need a place to live. Right. So you hear about those things. Now, why is that important? What does that mean to you? Well, when Shaun has that happen, you could probably then look in your database and say, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. What can I do to help? It's the first thing we do.
Right.
And the next thing we do is, okay, if getting rid of that or liquidating that marital home is the right answer, well, I know of John and Sally that are getting married. They might be the right people for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could be a very helpful situation where it's something that it works out for both parties.
Well, that's the best situations when things are good, when everybody wins, that's the best outcome.
100%.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Josh, I think we're going to skip that better outcomes, but I'll give you a little bit of the headline, and then we'll share that on our social channels, the full report that we had for you about getting access to information regarding a current mortgage if you're not on the mortgage. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@ronsiegelradio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Better Outcome segment today being brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. So what do you do if you need a copy of the current mortgage? You're going through divorce, or you just got divorced. Maybe you kept the house, you didn't refinance it. Shame on you. Well, maybe you couldn't refinance it, and now you're looking to sell that property, and you need a buyout or the payoff, but you're not on the mortgage. Well, the bank may not want to give it to you because you're not their client. Well, there is some relatively new legislation. It's called a successor in interest. Successor in interest. And it is a relatively new legislation that will allow you to provide specific data to the investor, the one that's managing your loan, and requires them to give you the data that you need only if you know how to deal with it. That's why you want to be dealing with a certified divorce lending professional, because there is an intersection between law, tax, real estate, and lending. The rules are not always the exact same for all of those as in a traditional transaction. If you want more information, we're going to put this full report out there. You can find it on any of our social channels. I actually will record this so that you can actually see the entire thing. And we'll have the audio and the text of it. That's the Better Outcome segment brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Continuing our conversation today, we're chatting this morning with Shaun Radcliffe, Radcliffe and Associates. He's covering the North Orange County area for the most part, helping families. One of the things that we've learned this morning it's always fun for me. It's like I get to talk to so many people and I get to learn so much. And it's you have to go out there and learn stuff, either hard knocks or by experience or whatnot.
Right.
I get to invite smart people like you to come in and just educate me. But 75% of your business being from referral.
Yeah, or past clients.
Or past clients.
Yeah.
That's a huge testimony to what your team is doing for families.
We stay in contact with our clients. Our clients are forever clients. We think it's our responsibility to educate them on what's going on in the market instead of going to generic websites that might be looking at a macro level. Or we also see a lot of things on YouTube saying that the market's going to crash, and those are kind of clickbait, right?
Right.
We know that the
market clickbait.
Well, it's something you click on in order to.
It's something that somebody throws out there just to get you to click on and get your collect your contact information.
Totally.
And it may or may not have anything to do with accuracy.
No, it doesn't. And that's what we find is that going back to just the pure data of the numbers, the inventory is historically low. And that shouldn't discourage buyers, though, because I always say it like this, is that when we have buyers and we're writing an offer and the listing agent might call us back and say, hey, there was 40 offers and you're one of 40, but you might be in the top 3. That means that there's, 37 other people that found value in that property. I want to be buying something that has value. So we look at it strategically and saying, if we were to write an offer and there was just one other offer, well, that might be, that's a dog.
You're wondering why, what's wrong with it?
Yeah. So there is still a lot of opportunity with buyers, and obviously with interest rates. I mean, 4% people might be looking at that, not sure what's going on, but that's a darn good interest rate, right? I mean, we talked about
18%.
And in 2010, when I bought my first home, it was 5.25%.
Right.
So yeah, so that's definitely something that we look at is opportunity.
And I like the other comment that you made there, and it's something that I'm a big believer in, is you look at it as your responsibility. It's not, you're not taking this. It's not that it's just a transaction. That we got to do A, B, C, and D to get to the end line.
Right.
It's your response. You're responsible. You and your team, I should say,
Yes.
responsible for somebody's largest investment of their life.
Yeah. And like you said, investment emotionally, where they lay their head down, but also making sure that from the start to the end, so that where, all of the, let's say, danger zones are at, that we help avoid those, so that the transaction, or let's say the process, is smooth and we can predict that because we do it so often.
Predictable.
Yeah.
Predictability.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to submit, Shaun, you tell me. So I don't need a real estate agent to show me a picture of a property or show me what's on the market. Maybe off market I do. What I really need you for is not, and this is what gets me when I hear these cut rate agents and advertisements. I shouldn't say that, but I do. It gets me when I hear these cut rates is I don't need an agent to find me the property or show me the pictures.
Right.
What I need is your years of experience, because I had a lady that comes on the broadcast with me. She's been in the industry 45 years in North Orange County, a broker. And she said, Ron, every transaction has a speed bump.
Of course.
I just know how to navigate them because I've been there before.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Is that whether it's negotiating a request for repair or figuring out when the possession is going to take place or getting the CC&Rs from the HOA or all of the things that come with it, it's knowledge-based and having that experience to explain to the client before that comes up that this is what we should expect and this is how we are going to handle it. It's somebody gave me an analogy of if you went into a dentist's office and all of a sudden he said, open up, and he just starts drilling. I mean, you're going to be scared.
Right.
Right. But if he sat down and said, this is what I'm going to do, Ron, I'm going to start with this and go through each process. And then you hear that drill start, you're going to feel confident because you know what to expect. And that's exactly in real estate what should be happening.
And right now it's a challenging time because I know that I can expect that there's going to be multiple offers on any property that's priced properly.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to navigate that. How do I write the offer? And I've got a real estate license, so I'm gonna share that. I don't use it.
Okay.
I'm not qualified. Right. I went through that 90-day process and got the license, and I'm one of the group that's not qualified to write an offer.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the initial consultation. Is that when you're working or when you're looking to work with an agent, is how much time do they spend up front really explaining the process and helping you understand that we are going to get in a multiple offer situation. We are going to have some contingencies either moved forward or possibly even asked to be removed through a seller multiple counter offer. We will have certain things like the seller wants to stay in possession after the close of escrow. And what does that mean? And how do we navigate that on the lending side? So there's a lot of things to make sure that you are prepared for, so that it's not that dentist just starting to drill. It's the Shaun and his team explained that this was going to happen.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was coming. Even though I've never done a transaction in my life, I knew that because Shaun told me expect it. If I surprise my line here, Shaun, surprises are great for birthdays and anniversaries, but not for business.
Absolutely not.
Right. I want to be if when that hiccup comes, I'm going to guess that you want to be the first one to tell somebody that hiccup's there, and here's what the way to navigate it.
Yeah, we would rather over explain, and so the consumer understands what could happen, and if it never does, then at least they have that knowledge, and that's where they come back and they refer us clients, or they stay clients for life because we gave them so much education on something that they might, it used to be every 7 years, somebody was making a move. Now it's possibly, 17 to 21 years. However, so they don't do that often. We had the opportunity of working with 98 families in 2021. So we do it twice a week.
Sure.
And so we do it quite often, but we have to explain to the consumer that might be on their third transaction or maybe on their first transaction, the whole process, so that they have that expectation and knowledge.
Which, that kind of saves the idea. The concept is, we don't. It's going through this process. I'm gonna submit when you're buying a house or financing a house, it's scary.
Well, the paperwork is scary enough,
Right.
not including the emotion and moving and everything that goes along with it. The unknown is what is scary. But when you know what's going to happen,
You have a great tour guide.
absolutely.
It's not going down the Grand, which I wouldn't do this, but going down the Grand Canyon, right? That's challenging.
Right.
But if you know that your tour guide's done it 98 times last year
And tells you each stop that's coming up
right
ahead of time.
10 yards from now, there's going to be a hairpin to the left.
Right.
Then that hairpin doesn't become fearful because I know it's coming. I might not know how to deal with it myself, but I know it's coming and I can be expecting it.
Right. And then you also have that guide that's there
right
for any questions to be answered.
All the way along the line. And there's those I call them concierges. In our team, we just call them concierges that are there. If you have any questions at all, call. Don't sit. If you're in a real estate transaction, I say this all the time, and I bet you do too.
Yep.
If you're in a lending transaction, whether you're with our team or not, I don't care. If you've got a question, call us. We're more than happy to take the time to educate you, share what we know, go back and have the person that you're working with check out and see if the situation is exactly right. I have no problem giving out what we know because I know, I call it karma.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
If you go out there and you help people and you're a good person, you're a good human, the company at Geneva's, I don't even know if it's on one of our banners here, but I'm sure it is somewhere. Home loans powered by humans. And some of this stuff will actually say, be a good human. Right? And that's, if our society, if everybody was looking out for everybody else, wouldn't it be a much better world?
It would be.
It'd be a lot more fun. Got some giveaways. Let's give some stuff away right now. So if you are thinking about buying a new house this year, all you have to do is visit rsrhbg.com. We come out with a new 25-page booklet every quarter. I'm going to tell you that you've only got about, a week or so to get this one, rsrhbg.com. And the reason I say that you only got about a week to get it is because we've got a new one coming out the first of the month. If you're looking for a sell, rsrhsg.com, rsrhsg.com. Same thing. New one comes out the beginning of the month. Gives you an idea of some of the things that are going on in the real estate world. Then we put you in touch with a great real estate professional like Shaun, and he and his team can then help you out with getting that new home. And the last one I'm going to share with you, rsrappraisalgap.com, rsrappraisalgap.com. And we did a demonstration just like I did earlier today with the RSR Real Estate PPF. So what we did there is we showed you if you've got a $50,000 appraisal gap, how can you resolve that with $5,000? All demonstrated right there for you. As always, if you want to meet a great real estate professional, give me a call. I'll put you in touch. North Orange County, Shaun and his team do a great job for the community. Put you in touch with them and set that first radio preset button to come back here every week and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A very big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Push me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just call it a day.